A lot of people may have their own reasons to kind of cringe when they see the Cambridges coming. Some of which has a lot to do with our recent history with the Cambridges, that is, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. And then other reasons may be more historical, like, for instance, colonialism. The idea that the British royal family can be looked upon favorably by so many Commonwealth countries, also known as the former colonies. That is very much due to a lot of public relations. Their PR campaign to bring in this global group of nations to create something that is a remnant of colonialism without people associating it with colonialism. Well, one person who may have made that association, or maybe she hasn't, I don't want to put words in anybody's mouth, but Priyanka Chopra Jonas, she knows what the history is, and she knows where she comes from. And when you consider the history of the British Empire, not the United Kingdom, not a Commonwealth, but the British Empire in the former colonies, now the Commonwealth nations, when you think of that history, it causes some people to look down upon the royal family. Now, one reason why people began to think positive about the family, the reason why the Kensington, Twitter account or the Kensington Palace Instagram account, one reason why they had so many people that have signed on to those accounts and many others, as I did, hoping for a glimpse or some kind of anything from Meghan, is because of just that, because of Meghan, because of Rachel Meghan Markle of California. That's the reason why people took an interest in that family. And Priyanka Chopra Jonas, who was invited to the wedding, who has been knowing Meghan Markle for some time, she may have her own reasons to not stand or not applaud or not get overly enthusiastic when she encounters the Cambridges. As John McEnroe said, it's not like it's the Queen walking onto the royal box. This is just the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge. And while he may conduct himself like he's already a sovereign, we don't have to treat him that way. Let's take the quote directly from John McEnroe. He said, "Who are the performers here? The players, right? So why are they bowing to someone else when they were about to provide the entertainment? Those people in the royal box should think about bowing to them." He wrote, "As for all the bowing and curtsying, and we're not just talking about the Queen here, we're talking about some petty minor royals. What was that all about? This is a class system gone mad, the opposite of mediocrity, where hard work is rewarded and people are respected because they have actually done something, not because they've been born on the right side of the tracks." That's what John McEnroe had to say about the whole thing. So Priyanka Chopra, according to when Kate first went after William, we're talking the early 2000s. Was it 2000, early 2000s? They were in courtship for 10 years. What was Priyanka Chopra doing at that time? Just think of what Priyanka Chopra's life was at that time. Just think about the things that she's done. Born in 1982, she's a singer, an actress, and a film producer, and the winner of the Miss World 2000 pageant. And she's the highest paid and most popular entertainer, or should I say one of, from India. So that's hard work that got her there. Her parents are doctors. And the first thing she thought about doing in life was initially she was inspired to study aeronautical engineering. This is a bright girl. This is a hardworking, intelligent woman, and people are making a fuss about the fact that she, for whatever reason, did not acknowledge the Cambridges. They need to acknowledge her. I won't even go over the wide body of work that she has to her resume, but being a goodwill ambassador to UNICEF, not because anybody said you've got to do this, or not because it was an official duty, but it's because it's what you wanted to do. She's a feminist, and she's fought for women's rights all these years. You know what the Duke and Duchess of Sussex has in common is a certain amount of humility. They are very just warm and authentic people. I won't even say down to earth because that's a given. And that's like one of the things that people always say when they meet a royal and they're not standing on ceremony. They say, oh, they're so down to earth. Well, that's not enough to describe the Sussexes. They're authentic. They're authentic and they're warm and they're friendly, and that always comes across. It's not just that they're saying the obligatory polite words to people. And for Harry, being born into that system, just think of how far he's come since he's actually even before he broke out of the Matrix, but since he's been out of the Matrix, he's more his authentic self. And we could not love him anymore for that. And even though he's been made out to be some type of pariah in the UK media, I think that his ability to connect with people is what's going to carry the day for him. It has before and it always will. And fortunately, here he'll be appreciated for it. Over there, I mean, it's like no matter what he said or what has been done, there are people that are still trying to convince him that this is where you ought to be. You belong to us. You belong over here. You're a part of this weird, like, cult-like thing that's going on with that family. When the truth is, everything that he thought he knew and understood about the world was just an illusion. That's why I keep using the term the Matrix, because he had to get out of the Matrix in order to see the world for what it is, and not what people have told him it could be or should be, or how people told him it is his authentic self living in the authentic world. So Priyanka, I'm sure you were not in that moment looking for some type of career boost, but I tell you, you have a whole new, I guess, crowd of admirers. You have new supporters and you have new fans. I'm a fan. All it took was just adjusting your scarf. I mean, who knew you could just adjust your scarf and you're trending all day for just adjusting your scarf? Because that's all it was. It's not like you took it off and polished his head with it. I mean, I'm pretty sure there was enough of a glare while you're trying to watch the tennis match anyway. So, I had to get kind of messy toward the end, right? It's like dessert, how you finish a good meal and someone asks you if you got room for Jell-O. There's always room for Jell-O, and there's always room to drag, that guy that I don't even want to say his name, but there's always room to drag. Okay, William. I don't want you all to think that I wake up in the morning and my feet hit the floor when I get out of bed and I'm like, drag him. But it ain't too far from the truth either.